Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus. I'm going to actually show you a breakdown of a mini scheme down in the gun-heavy Patriots, which is going to be a red zone scheme down inside the 5-yard line. I've got I have a few different plays that you can actually use very effectively. Obviously some pretty good running plays and some really good passing plays that are going to force your opponent to do that. But this is actually part of a bigger scheme on my Patreon channel. I don't know if you like the New England Patriots playbook, but I'm actually going to show just a bunch of different plays that I like to use down in the red zone. So if you want to go and see that stuff, just go to my Patreon. $1, you can actually go and see the full breakdown of all this stuff. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. When I'm using the gun heavy Patriot, I want to use this very close to the goal line. So basically 5 yards in is where I want to do this. And this is going to provide me basically 3 different areas that I can attack my opponent down in the red zone. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that you want to have your best pass catching tight end. Whoever's got the best awareness, the best catching traffic type situation, you want to have them on this right wing over here. So that's Jimmy Graham. Basically out of the huddle, we only have a few different plays to choose from. Out of the huddle, I'm going to use the quarterback blast. But the 2 pass plays that we're leveraging is going to be the tight end spot and then the mesh sit. The mesh sit actually offers some flexibility in the sense that you can attack your opponent on the left side and the right side in the back of the end zone. But the tight end spot is going to pretty much open things up because it's going to allow you to attack you right on the inside. Now out of the huddle, I'm going to go ahead and call the QB blast. And since most good Madden players use zone coverage down in the red zone, we're just going to pick random zone coverages. So when I'm using the gun heavy Patriot, I want to use this very close to the goal line. So basically 5 yards in is where I want to do this. And this is going to provide me basically 3 different areas that I can attack my opponent down in the red zone. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that you want to have your best pass catching tight end. Whoever's got the best awareness, the best catching traffic type situation, you want to have them on this right wing over here. So that's Jimmy Graham. Basically out of the huddle, we only have a few different plays to choose from. Out of the huddle, I'm going to use the quarterback blast. But the 2 pass plays that we're going to be leveraging is going to be the tight end spot and then the mesh sit. The mesh sit actually offers some flexibility in the sense that you can attack your opponent on the left side and the right side in the back of the end zone. But the tight end spot is going to pretty much open things up because it's going to allow you to attack you right on the inside. Now out of the huddle, I'm going to go ahead and call the QB blast. And since most good Madden players use zone coverage down in the red zone, we're just going to pick random zone coverages. So if you ever run into a situation with this, you're going to play down in the 2-yard line. If you run into a situation where the guy gives you an open box like this, just go ahead and run it. Take the QB run and go ahead and do that. This also offers a run off to the right and then a run off the left. So it's a quick halfback pitch off to the left. You can go ahead and try to funnel that ball in. So if you get the ball down the goal line and you want to go ahead and start hitting your opponent with your scheme, I would recommend going with this running plays right away to see if you can actually punch it in. That way you can save the pass plays for later. So you got the QB power off to the right. This should be a pretty OP run, primarily because you got an extra blocker. So I'd probably use the QB runs more than I'd use the running back runs because you're going to get an extra blocker that's going to help you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pass play. So the pass play we're going to focus on is going to be the tight end spot, and this is going to basically open up everything else. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Graham's route, and the trick to this route is actually pass leading off to the sideline, off to the right, which would be the 3 o'clock position. And what I found is if you actually go ahead and do the pass lead off to the 3 o'clock position, he's going to catch the ball and get the animation a little bit better. Now he's going to catch it in front of a defender, so that's one of the things you need to take into consideration. But because of the body positioning, a lot of times he's actually going to be able to catch that ball. So when you release the ball, take the pass lead and take the pass lead off to the right. And basically what's going to happen is he should be able to go ahead and get the animation and catch the ball right there. So sometimes when you're in a lab type situation like this, you're going to get some bad animations. But I've used this with a lot down in the red zone in gameplay, and it's actually picked things up. So once you come out of this formation, and if you haven't ran the ball, you pass it, that tight end spot route is going to be something your opponent's going to key on. He's going to look at that tight end guy and say, okay, I remember the last time I played this, I'm going to go to that. So now this is where you're going to come into attacking your opponent with the mesh sit. Now there's a couple of ways you can run it. You can go ahead and streak up that outside tight end and look to the other tight end commit on the opposite side and pass lead a high ball to the sideline. And a lot of times he'll get past the coverages. Or we can look to Graham on the back end side into the seam. So that's going to essentially be the first area that I want to go to, is that back area right there if it opens up. But let's just go ahead and make sure we make the read correctly. We're going to streak it up. So now you see a 3 high safety. That generally means if you got a single high safety, that means that Graham should be available for a big completion in the back of the end zone. So if you see that single high safety, that's obviously the route that you want to go with. So we got 2 high safeties. Let's see if the safety slides out of Graham. He does. So that's going to give you another area that you can actually pass it though. So even though I get rid of the ball, I wanted to do an inside pass lead just to make sure he didn't get tied up on it. But you can see actually he gets in the back of the end zone that you can hit. So your opponent will key onto that. So what you want to do is look to the other side. So what I've discovered labbing this up is that Komet on the back end side, what he'll do is he'll run up to the back of the end zone, then he'll actually go flat to the back of the pylon. This is a very unusual route. You don't see this a lot in the game. A lot of times they'll bounce up the end zone and then they'll run around. They won't do their route correctly. This route will run precisely the way it's supposed to. So what we're going to do is we're going to highball it. And if you get the animation, you'll be able to go and beat your opponent on the back end side. So let's just go and take let's just go and talk about the psychology of having these 2 plays in your repertoire when you're actually playing against your opponent. If you show him the spot route right away, he's probably going to be keen on this guy. He's going to be keen right in this middle of the field. So if you just wait for him to key on it, this route by Komet, who's a rookie tight end, he's going to be available in the back end. He always consistently runs this route correctly, and that's what's great about this either plays. He'll run this route and get flat, and he'll just run across the back of the sideline, and actually you can go and highball it and catch it right before the pylon and actually get some good yards. Now, obviously, if the ball is further off to the left, that means that passing lane is going to be a little bit tighter, so you might not want to go with this side of the field. If you're on this side of the hash, you'll have to go with a different place. So let me show you a different setup that you can use against your opponent. So another way I'm going to set this up is mesh, and I'm going to be focusing off the right side. In particular, I'm going to go ahead and try to leverage that running back route. So what I'll do is I'm going to take Harris, my tight end number 1, and put him on a flat route. I'm going to go ahead and take Graham and put him on a streak route. Now, I'm looking at 2 different reads right here. Harris is just clearing things out for me. I'm going to be looking for Graham into the gap of the zone. If that is taken away, I'm going to look to Cohen before he actually cuts up, and I'll try to lowball the ball so he actually catches it right on the end zone. So my first area is going to be basically that route by my tight end, and then I'm going to go ahead and look to this route by the running back. So I'm going to look to this route right here. You can see how it actually gets covered up, so he's not open or available for me. And I'm going to look to this route right here because these defenders are going to get pulled out. And because he's cutting in really quick and he's cutting up, I can throw that very quick. And if you do a low ball, you'll most likely catch it in a lane where he's not going to get hit by defenders. So here's your setup. And obviously, if no one goes into Graham's area, you're going to go and pop him really quick for that play. And also what you can do is you can actually go ahead and catch your opponent off guard by just letting the ball delay a little bit, and you actually can get it in the back with that running back. So this allows you to basically go and attack this little scheme. You got the running scheme that you can hit your opponent with. You've got a little inside zone or route that you can hit, the money route. You can actually hit your opponent on the backside with that out route by Komet. You've got basically a little stick route that you can hit with your tight end, and then you've got the running back route. So you could run this play on numerous occasions down in the red zone, run this formation, and actually go ahead and just get it in there. My recommendation is that you want to keep this at basically 5 yards depth, inside 5 yards for it to be very effective, because this is about a condensed set. And if you have a couple of downs to play with, I would definitely go ahead and run the ball. Make your opponent defend that run, because if he you want to go ahead and make sure that he understands that he's got to defend the run, and that should open things up for you. So when I'm really close, I like to go and use a heavy Patriot. This little route right here with the weak is really good with basically the pistol weak. Also, obviously, the weak close is good to use down there. And then the strong pro is really good. And then when in passing situations, I'm going to go ahead and jump into either the doubles flex Patriot, or I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Y off trips Pats. These are really good formations you can use. It's going to hit the seams, so you can hit the outsides and stuff like that. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. I'll be rolling out some new formations, some new breakdowns for you guys to take a look at. I'm also going to go and jump into maybe some third down money plays that I'm going to jump into too, just to try to close out this New England Patriots playbook. So once again, thank you for your support, and until next time.